I'm sorry, I was muted myself. Welcome, everyone. The Dialysis is Not Your Life Nation, Second Chance Nation, all of those who are watching today. We just want to welcome you here today to On Your Mark, Reset, Go. On Your Mark, Reset, Go. We're excited today. We do have an awesome show on today. Want to just say to everybody, happy New Year. Yes. Happy New Year. It's 2024. We made it. Good things are happening. It's time to go get it. Be it whatever it is, your dreams, your desires. Realize that everything in 2023 is gone. It's in the past. It's over. And it's time to move forward to the new. And so we're excited today. For those who don't know, On Your Mark, Reset, Go sessions for the kidney disease and dialysis patients, their families, the community. We're focusing on how to come back and overcome the mental and physical, emotional impact and the stresses of having kidney disease and also being on dialysis. The name On Your Mark, Reset, Go. On your mark means to look at your position. Where are you? Look at your position in life. To understand if you're not where you want to be, if things are not the way it's supposed to be, your dreams, if you're not operating those things, it's time to reset, start again, get the education you need or whatever it needs, get the counseling, get your health together, whatever it is you need to do in that reset moment to where you reset again and connect. And then you go after everything that you do desire in life. To let everyone know about the show, the guests will include other people who may have kidney disease and on dialysis, transplant patients and their families and caregivers, nephrologists and surgeons. You see it. I mean, we're going all out this year. We want to make a difference in the lives of those who have kidney disease and those who are on dialysis. If you don't know, I'm Fred Hill. I'm the founder of Dialysis It's Not Your Life. Listen, check us out on YouTube, subscribe, and listen, we're going hard. I want to introduce my wife, Phyllis Hill. This is my baby. Yes, Phyllis Hill. She's my spouse. She took care of me, still take care of me. I do have a kidney transplant now, but going through kidney disease. This is the reason why I'm doing this. As I was going through, no one ever checked on my wife. No one ever checked on my son to say, how you guys doing? Because understand, when one is going through kidney disease, one is going through dialysis, we are all going through. And so that's what we're talking about today. But listen, our guest that we have on today, we are excited for the guests we have today. We have Candace Cathcart, Adrian Cathcart. They're on today, and so we're excited for them today. I want to read this. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist in Spartanburg, South Carolina. She has clinical experience providing psychotherapy to adults, couples, adolescents, and families in Spartanburg County. She specializes in grief support and the treatment of anxiety, depression, and self-esteem issues. She states her goal is to creatively collaborate with individuals and families to improve their present experience of life and to transform relationships in ways that inspire a meaningful and hopeful future for all. When she's not working, she's enjoying reading and most importantly, spending time with her husband, Adrian. He's on the show today. He's a professional teacher. So he's on the show today, and also their 3 children. So if you don't mind, would you guys please welcome to the show, Candace and Adrian Cathcart. We're so glad to have you guys on the show today. She come. There we go. Go ahead. Yeah. We're glad that you're on the show today.
Welcome.
Welcome. We're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna get started. We're not gonna keep everyone long, but I just want to be in a place to make a difference. The thing, Candace, would you just go ahead and talk about a little bit of what you do and how you help people with therapy? Because you helped me so much with when my brother Bug passed away, and you helped me and my wife even with marital things and however. So we just wanted to say, just kind of break some things down, if you don't mind, of what you do and how you help.
So like you said before in the bio, I am a marriage and family therapist, and I do see individuals, couples, families. I specialize in anxiety and self-esteem issues, traumas, griefs, things of that nature. I just try to give as many tools and psychoeducation as I can to kind of help people get an understanding of what they're going through, have a vision of where they want to go, and we kind of just meet in the middle. I don't try to be the expert on anybody. I'm the expert on my side about what I do. And then families and couples and individuals are the experts about what's going on with them. We kind of just meet in the middle and try to get them to the goals that they come in with. So that's about it.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna keep jumping right in. I wanna ask this question first, because we want to get into your story, your kidney journey, and so I want to ask this. So we want to put this out as the starter of how important is it for people with dialysis, knowing and understanding their stress and the impact of dialysis, and also people with kidney disease, the stress and the impact. How important is that to talk when it's stressful, to find someone to help with therapy or counseling, to help them endure, to make the change to get better?
Yeah, it's very important, right? Because it's good to get things off your chest. It's good to talk about things, bring up emotions, and talk about what's going on with yourself, with your family. Dialysis and kidney issues are very stressful. So when we're so stressed out, that can be a contributor to worsening the issues that's going on in a person's body. So definitely, talking to somebody, getting some understanding about what you're going through, what you're feeling while you're going through it, having support. And I know you talk about that in your show a good bit, but support can not only just be caretakers, it could be a therapist that allows a person to just talk about what they're going through in a non-judgmental, non-criticizing type of environment where they're free to vent, to express what's going on, and to find new ways of handling what they're going through.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Adrian, we want to welcome you to the show as well, man. I know
Thank
you
you.
just got off work and just want to tell you thank you, because it's important. We're going to talk about your side as well. But I want to jump in, Candace, if you don't mind. Let's talk about your journey. So can you talk about the day your kidney disease became real to you? Let's talk about that.
Okay. So I've known for a lot of years that I had polycystic kidney. My sister had it, and she had all of our siblings get checked. I think I was about 25 when I found out. And at the time, my doctors pretty much told me that I was pretty good. My numbers were good. Yes, I had cysts on my kidneys. However, my health was good. I didn't have, of course, any symptoms or anything like that. So they kind of just told me just continue to do what I've been doing, drink water, eat right, exercise. They didn't go into a lot of detail about what to eat and what not to eat. Basically, just not to eat foods that would increase my blood pressure, or to kind of not drink dark sodas. Like, it was very small little information, like not a lot of information. But when my issue became real to me was actually, you may think, it's interesting that we're talking about it today on your show, but when I went through the 5-week reset life coaching with you is when it became real to me, because in that program you talk about knowledge and getting understanding of what you're going through, like being proactive about your health and what it is that you need, getting your numbers, going to the doctor, getting your labs, and eating right, and all these different things. So I became very motivated when I went through your course, your program, and I got my numbers. And when I got my numbers for the first time, it started to get real to me, because my numbers had been going down for years, but nobody told me. I didn't know. Nobody said anything because it wasn't so bad. And so around the same time when I was kind of like going through your program, I found out that my numbers went from like 58 to 30 in like maybe three months. And the numbers were my labs, the GFR, right? That talks about the functioning of your kidneys. So it wasn't to a place where my kidneys weren't functioning, but I was changing stages, going from stage 1 to 2 to 3A to 3B. And again, nobody telling me like, hey, do something different, change your lifestyle. or you're going to be on dialysis or have to get a transplant. But when I took your course and the program was in the program, um, it brought light. It gave me knowledge, and it made me so much more determined to not allow my numbers to continue to go down. And so it changed the trajectory of my life completely.
Wow. Do you have something you want to add to that, babe? Well, another question. So once you, okay, this is my numbers, and we going through the course and everything. How did you tell Adrian? How did you tell? This is serious. This is. I want to make a change. I want to make a difference, because being in marriage is one, and it's a different thing when you're on dialysis. It's a big thing, and that's why I want to talk the difference of being having kidney disease, because you're not on dialysis and things cannot seem, no symptoms. However, it's just you saying, the doctor saying your numbers are bad, but you still urinating, you still got energy, you still moving, you still doing. So when you found that out, how did you go about telling Adrian and kids and all of what was going on with you?
So for Adrian, it wasn't a big deal because this is my best friend. Like this is my dude. So we talk about things anyway. So as soon as like you left, like I was on the phone with him, like we need to get this together. We need to, start. Um, I need to go into the doctors. I need to do all these different things. And of course, he was on board. And so when I started going and well, I was already going to the doctors and things anyway. I was only going one time a year, um, labs one time a year. And so once, I discussed it with him, hey, these things are necessary. Like we need to be proactive about making sure that my number's not going down. And so then, of course, he would come to the appointments with me. We would look at the labs together. So it was pretty much the same time I found out, he found out. And so that was the discussion of, okay, we got to get on this. As for my kids, that was a different story. So they've always known, as long as they've been around, that I've had kidney issues, because again, it was in my 20s, and they know so many people who are on dialysis or have had kidney issues. So I mean, it's hereditary, it's a part of our family. So we taught them and told them about it anyway. However, when I started to get more serious about the situation, I changed my diet. I stopped eating meat. I started just doing vegetables. I started changing the oils that I was using. I mean, it was so many different changes that was going on with just me that they started to notice it. And of course, I was telling them this is the reason why. And then I got to the point where I wasn't focused so much on myself, but more so them. Okay, you don't have to go through what I'm going through. Your numbers can look different because now we do have knowledge, about ways to prevent your numbers from going down. Like it's a slow progression, it's not a cure, but you don't have to be on dialysis. You don't have to have transplants. Your numbers don't have to go down. So we were kind of just talking to them about, what things they need to eat, how they need to change, what they were doing and drinking and things of that nature. And the funny part was where I thought I was more focused on getting them in the right way, they became really protective of me. So they started getting to the point of, if I would have like a piece of cheese or something, right? Because I was telling them, okay, I'm reducing dairies. That, Mama, can you have that? I don't think you're supposed to have that. Like, you don't need it. Like, is that going to affect your kidneys? And so they weren't focused on them at all. They were really, really focused on me and making sure that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. In fact, this Christmas, Adrian got me a treadmill so that I can walk around the house. We go hiking a lot, or we have been hiking a lot in the spring and the summer. And so by getting cold, I've been using the treadmill. And so my kids are, okay, did you run today? Did you walk today? Are you exercising? Did you eat right? Like they're my parents, right? So that's kind of how the journey's gone and how we all as a family are kind of looking out for each other.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I think that's awesome. One thing I want to say for those who are watching, one thing that Candace said, that with her doctor, he would, and it was the same. It was the same with me. The doctor would say, okay, you have kidney disease, and your kidney stage is a stage 1 or it's a stage 2, and so I'll see you back in a year. Okay, you go back and it's a stage 3. I'll see you back in a year. It's a stage 4. It's getting better. You know, so now you need to do something. But the reality is that we don't need to wait. I mean, because the thing is, it's your habits, it's the things that you're eating, it's the things that's going on in your body. And so waiting a year with kidney, still eating the same way, understand it can get worse and worse quicker. And so the thing that I encourage those who are watching, you got to get your labs done more than a year. If you can get your labs done at least every quarter to know where your GFR numbers, to know what your BUN numbers, to know what your creatinine numbers is, so that you can start doing things, because it is true. In some cases, that when you change your diet and you begin changing the way you live, that you can change back up those stages. You could be in a stage 3 and it can move back to a stage 2 because of the things that you're doing, or it can just prolong a place to where you can remain in 3 and you won't see 5 because of the changes that you're doing. You won't see dialysis because of the changes that you're doing. And so that's a real big thing I want to share with all of us to understand that. So I'm gonna get back to what one thing that you said also about exercising. Those who are watching, you whether you're walking, playing with your kids, dancing, doing something, gardening, cutting grass, getting out, movement. That means everything. That means everything to your body. That means everything as you're going and you're defeating kidney disease. I just want to just touch on those 2 things, and I want to we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to come back, and Adrian, I want to ask you some questions and get on, because understand going through kidney disease, that spouse that's being there for you, and like what you said, you changed a lot of things, Candace, the way that you eating and meat and all of that. And knowing Adrian can cook, and knowing he's a grill meat man. Well, I can't wait to hear your story. All right, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to come right back. Dialysis is Not Your Life. The book and workbook by international author Fred Hill is available on Amazon.com. The power to redefine your life while on dialysis. Dialysis is a second chance at life. So what are you doing with this chance? I know that dialysis is challenging. I was on dialysis for 3 years, chemo and peritoneal. But you can still live a high quality, fulfilled life while on dialysis. You can get your confidence and sex life back, still go after your dreams and live your life out loud while on dialysis. The book teaches you that dialysis is not the end for you. It is possible to live and enjoy life. The workbook takes you step by step to make it all a reality. This book and workbook are helping and changing the lives of dialysis patients across the globe. So go to Amazon.com, order the book and workbook, and get your life back. Life is waiting on you. Okay, we're back. Adrian, we're ready to ask some questions, man. All right, baby doll.
Adrian, hi. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good. I just wanted to ask you, how did you feel, or what were your thoughts when Candace called and let you know about the kidney disease?
So we were young. We were about 25 when we found out. And so first you get like that first shock. But the shock was, you're so young, you know.
Yeah.
We don't smoke, we don't drink, you don't do drugs, and you know that's one of the things that'll destroy kidneys, and that's one of the things you hear first. Or they must have been, you know, doing drugs back in the day, and it done caught up with them, and it's hereditary.
Yeah.
But so that was the initial shock. But then, like she said earlier, when you hear the doctors, they kind of say, well, you know, you're 25, you know, you in good health. That's something you ain't got to worry about for a very long time. Then it kind of puts you at like at ease with it. Like, okay, well, doctors say we're good until life starts to speed up on you. You have another kid, your career starts to take off, and now you got the stress, and then you got the stress along with hypertension, and then you got kidney disease. So now that's a perfect storm. And so now you got all these things happening, and then as you get older, those numbers start to go down. And if she's only seeing a doctor once a year, there's no telling what's going on between that time. And you started, those numbers just start trickling down until you hit that shock where your numbers are at like a 50, and you're like, wow, so that's where that's later on is where I got the actual like, oh my God, this is really real now,
Yeah.
Okay.
So how did you feel when you had the diet changed? Did you change your diet, or the kids change? Did the kids change their diet, or how did y'all come in? I know like cooking, and so is it two meals, or how do y'all go about that?
Sometimes it is 2 meals. I had to scale back what I was cooking, so it wouldn't be. I wouldn't have to cook for the same thing for 5. Now I was cooking like for 4, and we would just cook her meal, and then I would cook their meal, but we all would eat what she would eat every now and then, or more so than what we were usually doing. So we might have spaghetti, but it wouldn't have no meat in it. It would have maybe zucchini or squash or things like that. So that's kind of way we kind of supported her, just showing that, we're going to do this with you. We're gonna, so you won't feel like an outcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because with our kids, I mean, Adrian is an awesome cook, and he cooks everything under the sun. So when the changes started, and I mean, it wasn't just changing just the regular foods. Like, I started eating plant-based meats, and changing the type of milk and eggs and just all of that type of stuff. And to be honest, at the beginning, it didn't taste all that great, but having an awesome chef in the house, like, he was able to kind of like work it so it makes it taste a whole lot better. But at first, my kids was like, no, we don't want that. We used to having this type of food. We don't want what you having. Like, my son's 20, he'd be like, you eating shrubbery, like, we ain't rabbits type of thing, because we were doing a lot of salads. Another thing is kind of just trying to get used to a different diet. And so it took a little bit of time, but I feel like we've got it, down packed at this point. So there are days when, he will cook hamburgers or steaks or something like that. And when he does, I'll have plant-based hamburgers, or I'll do some other type of meat, not really meat, but some other type of food. And then we all will have baked potatoes and a salad. So it wouldn't be him making 2 completely different meals. It would just be a little bit of different here and then some of the same stuff over here.
Yeah. It was hard trying to cook a plant-based hamburger on a grill. It was hard.
Right.
Got the hang
but you did it, man. Hey.
And it was good.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Let me ask this question here. Because when you start changing diets and you start changing some things, and it's you, like you said, it's the 3 kids, the husband, and you have the kidney disease, Candace. So have you ever been in a place where you felt different, or you felt vulnerable, or you felt a certain kind of way to say, well, I'm holding them back from eating or doing, or I'm a weight, or was there any type of negative feelings that you felt in your own inner person when you going through kidney disease, when it's just you and then everybody in the house, everybody else is basically healthy?
Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes it kind of depends on what's going on, but more times than not, it's the idea of how worried my family can be about me. And that makes me feel like, okay, burdensome, you know. And then I have to kind of use my tools to kind of have the communication with my husband and make sure that he's okay, that he's not stressing out about me, that my kids, that they shouldn't be worried about their mom. They shouldn't be, so concerned about my diet. And so sometimes that makes me feel as a wife and as a mom like I'm causing more stress to my kids. In that sense, yeah, there's a difference because he goes to the doctor and has a clean bill of health, don't have to take any type of medications, anything. So any pills on the table is mine. And so it's kind of like, okay, I want him to have a healthy wife. I want my kids to have a healthy mom. And that's even more so motivation. To not be on dialysis, to not have to do the transplants. Like, as you said before, I don't go to the doctor now just one time a year. Like, I'm there every 3 months for some type of labs or some type of checkup or something. And it's not because the doctor decided it. It was because I initiated and said, hey, this is what we want to do, because I want to make sure that I'm up on my stuff. Because as much as I understand through, watching you and other people, dialysis doesn't have to be my life, right? If I was on dialysis, it wouldn't have to overtake, my life and who I am. I can still live a good, healthy life. However, dialysis is not my choice. I don't want that to be, something that is a part of my life. I don't want a transplant. And because of that, and of course, thinking about my husband, thinking about my kids, I'm choosing to change my diet. I mean, real talk, it was really hard, seeing them with pizzas, with cheese and all of this other stuff. And I can't even have that. So I got to have, and of course, at the time, the food was not good, but I had to decide, do I want the food, or do I want good health so that I can do the other stuff? I mean, you only eat at the table for a little bit of time. And then after that, you spend time with your family, you spend time with your husband. Yeah. So I had to, put my priorities in place to say, I would rather, deal with this food, deal with weight loss, trying to figure out what's okay, what's not okay. All of these different things of changing the way that you do things, so that your kidneys can be okay. I had to decide on doing all those things, sacrificing, so that I could be here for my husband and for my kids in the best way that I can, which to me looks like no dialysis and no transplants.
Well, let me ask this right here. So, being in the place that I want to applaud you. I'm not say ask. I want to applaud you, because you did not wait until your numbers were at the stage 4 and things were almost at a stage 5 to where you needed to go on dialysis, to where you say, hey, I'm going to make a change. Understanding and knowing your numbers, you're not close to dialysis by no means. And so I want to applaud you for making like you said, my choice. Dialysis is not my choice. I'm gonna start using that, if you don't mind. I'm using it in all my skills. Dialysis is not my choice. So that means that you made a change in the stage of kidney disease when you're not even close to going on dialysis, to ensure that you don't go on dialysis. And so I want to applaud you for that. And I think that is absolutely awesome. And the same, Adrian, I just want to applaud you and the kids for changing lifestyles, because I know that's not easy. And so for those who are watching, I think that means a whole lot. And I'm gonna put it this way: what it's saying is love. I think that's what it is. It's showing it's about sacrifice. And that's what anything that you're trying to do, accomplish, anything is going to take sacrifice. And so being in that place where sacrificing as a husband, sacrificing as a father, kids, all these different things, I want to take time with just this moment and just applaud both of you for, I'm just going to say it like, the job well done, job well done, job well done.
Adrian, I wanted to ask you something else, Adrian, because Candace had mentioned about not wanting to be burdensome or feeling burdensome. So how did you feel, or did you realize that you had physical or mental or emotional distress with her having the kidney disease?
Well,
Did you
she
feel
never was burdensome. She never was a burden. But I never showed that I was stressed. I never showed her that I was worried because with men, you're not supposed to be stressed. You're not supposed to be not supposed to show it,
Yeah.
you know. But I just told her one day, um, I was scared to death. I just told her just like that. I said, you know what?
Wow.
I said, I am scared to death. And this was after finding out 10, 15 years, I just told her, I'm scared to death. And for me, that just lifted because I just told her, and I didn't come out and say it, but it was an opening. She had just created an opening that she didn't know, but I used that opening to just say, another thing is I'm scared to death. And I was just able just to slide that in. And that just, it just I was able, when that burden was lifted, I was able to even understand more of her journey with this disease.
Yeah.
okay?
So let me ask you, like you said, you were scared to death. What was the greatest fear? What was the greatest fear?
The end result was dialysis. Her being on dialysis because, at the time, you doing all these things, you're going out, you're having fun, you spending time with your family, you're, just creating memories. And when dialysis presents itself, then all those things are pretty much on hold because you have to go and, I guess run for 3-4 hours and then you sluggish and then, all those things are on hold. And so you start thinking, it's going to be, life changing, and then on top of that, you hear the horror stories about, people going in and dying on the machine, things like that just start racing through your mind because you don't want that. You don't want that for anyone. And you definitely don't want that for someone who you love.
Yeah.
So, that's that, that was the thing that I feared the most.
And I think too, for us, like I said before, there's a lot of people in my family who have kidney issues.
Right.
So, so many aunts, so many, different people who have passed, because, well, now I won't say because, but dialysis was a contributor to them, not being here. And then seeing so many people again in the olden days, how it would take over your life because you would have to stop doing whatever you're doing and be on dialysis, whether it's at home or in the clinic for 4 and 5 hours, 3 times out the day. Like from our experience, looking at what dialysis is for people and how that, how it changes their lives, it was really, really frightening. I will say though that again, being on your show and understanding much more now, how they have so many different ways to be on dialysis that it doesn't have to take all your day, and there's not as many restrictions. Even for you, seeing how your journey was very different than a lot of our family, because you did go out, you did do stuff. Like we would see you, at home, and you would be with us for a little bit, and then you would do dialysis at night while you were sleeping. So you had the whole day to go and go on vacations, and you would take all your stuff with you. Where other times, other people, they couldn't go. Like my auntie couldn't go anywhere because she was on dialysis and she couldn't take the big machines and all these different things. So I think that's a big part too. Maybe if we didn't have so many people who we, seen their experiences, then it wouldn't have been as frightening. It would just be something we didn't know of. But having so many people's, lives that have changed from it in a negative way before you, of course, And then a few others, who we know of now that the
Yeah.
journey doesn't seem as frightening. Again, it's not my choice, but I mean, it doesn't look as bad as it did back in the day.
And I want to say this as we're talking with people who are watching. I think there's, let me say it this way: dialysis, second chance at life, and thank God for dialysis. I had to do dialysis, and it saved me. I'm alive because of dialysis, and I thank God now I have a kidney transplant. But the thing with dialysis, the choice is yours. The biggest thing is staying in that cycle to where you're not doing anything. You don't have no motivation. You're not no purpose, feeling like you have no purpose in life, feeling as if life is over, but understanding you got a second chance. So it starts here in the mind. And so with the program and those different things, we're gonna talk about that because you need it in order to get your sex life, get your drive back, get your health back, start going out, dating, confidence, all those different things. You can get those things back while you are on dialysis. But I want to say to those who have kidney disease and not on dialysis, it needs to be your choice. The same thing like Candace said, I don't want to be on that. I don't want to have that. That's not my choice. And so do something about it now. And don't wait till it's too late, because the worse the worse you are physically, the sicker you are physically when you go on dialysis, the harder dialysis is going to be on your body, because it's hard on your body anyway. It's causing the heart to just go the whole time while you're on dialysis. It causes the heart to swell. I mean, so when you look at this, I want to say something quickly, because kidney disease itself is the 9th leading cause of death. It's the 9th leading cause of death in America. And heart disease is number 1. But the thing, like what Adrian was talking about, the perfect storm, when you have kidney disease, it will cause high blood pressure. It can cause diabetes and all different things that will cause, go back to number 1, to where you having heart problems, to where you got issues with your heart. And so now, because you didn't take care of the number 9, now you at number 1. And I think that right there in itself, it says a whole lot to be in a place to start looking at your life, looking at what you're doing, and make the sacrifice, hear this, to live. Make the sacrifice to live, to live, to live. We're going to take another break, and we're going to come right back. All right? We'll be right back.
Being diagnosed with kidney disease or being on dialysis can be devastating mentally, physically, and emotionally, not only for the patient, but for their families. Reset Life Counseling, LLC is here to help you through the mental stages of uncertainty. Our program is designed to teach coping skills, social care, grief counseling, and life skills to help the patient, their families, and caregivers learn more about their roles and countermeasures of kidney disease. Our goal is to counsel, coach, and empower each client to regain their health and redefine their lives. Fred Hill, the founder and CEO of Reset Life Counseling, LLC, is a former dialysis patient. He is a kidney transplant recipient and an advocate for dialysis. We have individual, family, and group sessions available. Go to dialysisisnotyourlife.com and click on resources to find out more, or call 864-256-1591 for a free consultation. It's not too late to reset your life.
Okay, we're back. I want to jump back in with what you said, Adrian. You said that the place to where you was like, okay, she gave an opening, and you said, I'm scared to death. Now, the issue that I want to talk about with kidney disease is that it's not just the patient. It's not just Candace going through, but you were going through too. So, when you say I'm scared to death, that means there was some mental stress. That means that was some, I don't know if you had some physical stress or whatever, because seeing that, and like you saying, the end result of that, but you said that once you got that off, and how things begin to get better. So I want to say, how the question for both of you, I guess, how did you make it better? How did you grasp to say, okay, we're gonna get this, I got this, and now we're doing it and we're moving towards it, and we're gonna defeat and overcome kidney disease with my life. How did the question for both of you, how did you come to combat that?
Well, we did some research. We did research, about some things that can help like kidneys, like drinking more water, your salt intake, watching your salt intake, things like that. What is good for exercise? What's the best exercise for, just for your heart rate, because all that works together, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. And we did communicate. He said about the opening. So, because I'm a therapist, I talk about stuff all the time. I'm always asking them questions. And so I would definitely talk about what I was thinking and what I was feeling. And honestly, I kind of knew already that he was, like you asked about emotional, mental, physical, things like that. Like he wasn't sleeping well, tossing and turning. I would see him watching me, and if I didn't feel good, like he's a great caretaker anyway, but he was like on it, like, okay, let's check this, like, let's make sure you this. Did you take your pill? And, have you drank your water? And just all these different things. And so I knew that he was really concerned about me anyway, just because, how he would make a point to, make certain foods that he knew that would bring my blood pressure down and things of that nature. Okay, let's do salads tonight instead of, any type of meat. So then the whole household is having salads or, things of that nature. And so we communicated a good bit. And then, when he did tell me how nervous and how scared he was, again, it just left the door open for us to continue to talk to each other. In the days where I would be kind of nervous, finding out that somebody else in my family had to go on dialysis. And then, that would make me think about it. And I'm like, okay, are we doing enough? And then we would have those late night conversations. And I think it's really good that we would talk to each other. It wasn't just him being my sounding board where he would just listen to me. Because again, to me, that was burdensome because he would have to just carry my load. But when he would in turn kind of put it out there, and then of course we're Christians, so we pray about everything, right? And so, we pray before going to bed, praying in the morning about our day, praying together, praying separately, those type of things. And of course, having conversations with our kids so that they would know that it's okay to express yourself and talk about things if you're concerned about something. And then, like you said before, getting everybody on board with this new lifestyle, that it wasn't so much, I guess, the focus of kidney disease, but more so, like you say, living. Like, what do we need to do, to make sure that we are healthy? What do we need to do to make sure that we're not going to get sick? So the focus wasn't necessarily on, it started with the kidney issues, but then it got to the point of focus. What you focus on, it magnifies. So if I'm only focusing on, I don't want kidney disease, I don't want my kids to have kidney disease, that's a fear-based action, right? And so everything that I'm going to be doing is based on, don't eat that, don't look, don't do, don't. And I didn't want that to be the case. He didn't want that to be the case for our kids. So it wasn't, don't drink dark sodas. It was, we're going to have water tonight, right? It was, we're doing juice. We're not bringing any, dark sodas in the house. He just started bringing Sprites in. So it wasn't even really a discussion so much as a change, right? And so we were focusing on eating healthy. Okay, Dad's not going to do fried foods anymore. We're going to take time. He just going to grill. And instead of us going to the mall, we're going to go hiking. Like if you look on our Facebook and just, check in on what we do, like all throughout the spring and the summer, like all of my kids, except for my son, we were out hiking, we were walking, taking the dog for walks, going to the park and just being out doing things. And so again, the focus wasn't so much on what not to do, it was on what are we going to do. And so then it became so much easier for us mentally, physically, emotionally, because the focus wasn't on dying or kidneys, disease or dialysis. It was focusing on health and living well, and us doing it all as a family, supporting each other.
I think you said something real big to where you changed the focus from kidney disease and dialysis until you said you're focusing on life and on living. And so, you know, when you get to that point, it's no longer the struggle of sacrifice to make it, to do this. It becomes part of life. And you're like, hey, we're living and we got this now. And so,
Right.
and you're hiking and you're doing. And so, can I ask this then? Were you hiking before the kidney disease, knowing about the kidney? I mean, like getting serious, or was that something after a part of saying exercise?
No, we didn't walk or anything. Like, we went to the movies, and we, you know, of course we walked our dog. You know, as a family, we would go take the dog out for a walk and go up the street and around the corner and things like that. He's always been about being outside, and we would play basketball and all of those things, but the focus was never, you know, health wise. It was just activities, being outside, doing things together. But I think, would you agree that it was pretty much after we decided that we were going to shift? And in fact, it wasn't even me. Like, I was so bent on eating well, I didn't think about exercise, because for me, I'm a small person. I don't want anything to make me smaller. So I was not thinking about exercising. I was thinking about walking, because if you think about all of that, it's usually for weight loss. So I'm like, I don't want to do any of that. Like, I'm trying to maintain my weight, just eating, like my son said, shrubbery, like a rabbit.
That's
so
funny.
yeah, so he was like, well, let's just go hiking. And, you know, each weekend, if I wasn't working, he would bring to my attention, he knows I love waterfalls. So that was going to be the thing to get me to go. Because, like, let's go hiking. I found a trail, and at the end of the trail, there's waterfalls. So every place that we've been always had a beautiful waterfall. And so we would go as a couple, just to kind of just go. But then my kids were kind of like, well, we want to go. We see the pictures. We want to see the waterfalls. And so then as a family, we just started going. And of course, at the end of it all would be the waterfalls again. And the focus wasn't anything, again, scary. It was just family and doing things together. And it ended up being a health-based thing instead of a fear-based thing.
Well, I'm gonna ask this, if you don't mind, once we get off, because I want to, if you don't mind, to share the places or whatever once we get off, because I want to be able to share that with some of the clients, so those who might not want to go to the gym, to where they can take hiking, or somebody say those different things, an alternative, if you don't mind. So once we get off, I'm definitely going to get the information from you. But while I'm talking, Adrian, so how does that make you feel about your health? I mean, because you exercising and you moving too now.
Yeah. So it, as you get older, you take your health a little bit more serious anyway, because you ain't 25 no more. You know, you ain't 30, you getting your 40s, you getting your 50s. So you need to keep moving, you know, and you want to stay healthy.
Right.
And so, you know, while she's, you know, even though I suggested, hey, let's go hiking, it was for me too, because, you know, low key, I want to lose some weight too.
Not too much. Just want to lose some weight. Not too much. I don't want to lose.
But yeah, so I want to lose some weight too. So, you know, so like you said, going, you know, finding waterfalls, I'm gradually wanting to pick up the pace, because, you know, I want to lose some weight or whatever. But like I said, you know, you take your health serious anyway. But when you have a partner and y'all trying to reach that same goal, and the same goal is to be healthy. And so that makes it more easier.
Right.
You know, you connect better.
Right.
You know, love each other, grow. You know, so, you know, it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Right.
You know.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
I see you smiling, Candy. That's all right. That's good.
That's all
I got that's all right. Hey, that's love. That's what love is. That's what love is. I got a serious question I want to ask both of you. And you can ask, so is because polycystic kidney disease is hereditary, is there a concern that out of the children that one of the kids will have polycystic kidney disease? Is there a thought or concern in the mind?
Yeah, that was one of the things that, when I first heard it, and I was like, okay, we already have one child,
Yeah.
and I know we want to have others, is this one going to have it, or is this one going to have it? And, when do we get tested, or, even now, when my daughter just had a surgery and they said something about, it was protein in her kidneys. Well, I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, what, but it just comes to find out that, it was just from the medicine, and everything cleared up. But yeah, you when it's hereditary, your mind just like, you go to the doctor, and have this routine visits, you come back, where they say, you just wait, you hold your breath. It's one of those hold your breath moments,
Yeah.
And because when I get home, I'll be like, what did the doctor say?
Yeah.
Tell me everything else. I just don't want to hear kidney disease.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So
we educate our kids too. So again, like I said before, if our youngest daughter, she loves steak and she loves Chinese food. And the steak sauce that she loves is A1 sauce that's high in sodium. And soy sauce, high in sodium. So we're constantly like, okay, Licia, like moderation. Like you can't go ham. Like just have a little bit, just get a little bit. Like we're on her about that. Again, we don't bring up, oh, you gonna have kidney disease or anything. It's just got a lot of salt in it. We got to make sure that we don't do too much salt, right? And so we educate them about things like that. And so much so, honestly, that Brianna and Cameron, like they're athletes. And so when they started playing basketball and getting serious about that part, like they changed their diet, on their own. They wipe out sodas. So they don't, even now, they don't drink sodas. If they are going to drink something, it's usually strawberry lemonade or juice. They don't drink sodas. We're still working on Alicia. She's the dancer. So she like, I can have a Sprite a time or two. But yeah, they have changed the way that they eat because of being athletes. But also I do believe too is because we are so proactive about eating well that they make a point to not eat crazy. Like now, with that, they're still teenagers, and my son's in his 20s, so they have their days. But compared to their friends, like they love salads, they love potatoes, they love like those type of things. And sometimes if we do eat out a little bit too much, they'll be like, well, Dad, when are you gonna cook? Like, when are we gonna have a salad? Like these type of things, which I feel really, really good about, because even when we're not looking, like they're again focused on health. When are we gonna go hiking again? Because they're focused on health.
I think that's what you said. It means a lot, and I want to encourage everyone. Like for us, when Haven had his last physical, we went ahead and had his kidneys checked to see if he had the ultrasound, to see if he had any cyst on his kidneys, and so thank God he didn't. But at the same time as of sharing, like you said, the information, it's not about fear, it's about life. So hey, lay off, drink more of this, good things, eat this, those different things. And I can't say with Haven being 22, sometimes it's more of a challenge than not. So for us, but the thing is the understanding that we're still talking, because the reality is to make sure health is number one. Health is number one. We got one more question. We're gonna hit this last commercial. We're gonna come back and we're gonna ask this question, and we'll be right back.
Many life insurance companies consider kidney disease or being a kidney transplant patient a high risk and will not provide coverage. But there's good news. If you're in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Maryland, Virginia, or New Jersey, you can be covered with whole life insurance. Not only for kidney disease, but many chronic illnesses are now covered. Call 864-316-6124 to get the coverage you need. Give your loved ones the assurance they need knowing you are covered.
Okay, we back. I want to give a shout out to Audrey Mills. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your shout out. So glad that you're on, and she's just faithful. And with her, she had a kidney transplant last year, and so she's doing well, and I'm grateful. Just want to give a shout out to her as well. All right, we're gonna ask the last question, and we're gonna close it out.
Okay, in your own words, what would you say to encourage some others or someone else about who's dealing with kidney disease?
Okay. Kidney disease, I would definitely say, is something to be proactive on. It doesn't, again, have to be the whole focus of your life. You can still go and do things, but it is really good to prevent progression in the wrong direction. And so I would say be encouraged that dialysis doesn't have to be your life. Like, I know in the way that you say it, Fred, is that it doesn't have to take over your life. But when you have a kidney issue and it hadn't progressed to those things, dialysis also doesn't have to be your life, because you don't have to be on dialysis, right? So if you are proactive about it, if you are, getting the knowledge and the understanding and not waiting on the doctor to tell you, because sometimes that's not where you'll get the information. So like my husband said, the research, I'm a big time research queen. And so getting research, understanding the foods that have potassium and high potassium and phosphorus and things like that, because it actually makes you even feel better. Like, as much as it was a struggle trying to find the right things to eat, I find that my body responds so much better to the way that I eat now than it did before. And so I feel better. I sleep better. Even though I'm still trying to maintain my weight, I'm having people come to me and like, have you, you're going backwards in your age. Like, you look so much younger. Your skin is brighter. Like, all these different things, because my focus is on doing something different than I was before. So I guess the encouraging part would be, even though it's an incurable disease, again, it doesn't have to take over your life. And if you have great supportive people, like, that makes it so much easier, so much better. Because, and if you make a point to communicate, even the hard stuff, talking about the hard things, talking about the fears, talking about the stresses, and even the sacrifices, being a safe space and allowing the person who you are talking to be that safe space for you is a great thing. And you guys can move forward. Like my doctor said at the beginning, when I turned 25, like, you can die, tomorrow, but it don't have to be from dialysis or any type of kidney issues. So be intentional about your health just in general. And focus on, like we said before, focus on life.
Yes. So Adrian, as a support, how would you encourage someone else as a spouse that their spouse has kidney disease? How would you encourage them as that support system for them?
So what I did when I was going to the doctors with her, I was asked questions and find out what the numbers mean. Because, just going and just, that's one thing, but being able to say, well, your GFR should be this, and why is it not this, and why is it this? Just being able to know what each thing means, so you're able to have a dialogue to know, she knows what I'm talking about. So she can come to me and we can talk about, what these numbers mean, and just don't, like I said, just don't go to the doctor, just be, I guess the word I could say, just be more in tune, be more supportive in, asking questions and letting the doctor know that you can talk to me too, and I'm just not gonna just sit here, talk to me too, so we can.
That's good.
So yeah, I think that's
good.
very
Right.
Yeah, that's good. That's good because you take it that because sometimes I'm gonna say for us as men, it's easy to say I went. So I'm sitting there, or, what I'm saying, it's easier for us as men to do that. To show up. Yeah, and
show a genuine interest. That's what I'm looking for. Showing a genuine interest.
Yeah,
like you were doing everything else, including that as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
that is good. That is good. So actually learning about kidney disease yourself, even though you don't have it, so you can be support and help to the wife. And I think that's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Baby doll, you have anything you want to add?
No.
All right. Do y'all have anything else y'all want to add?
Not
All right.
to
Well,
add,
we want to
thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of this today.
Appreciate it. We do. Really do.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you all for being on. I mean, this right here is absolutely awesome. We just want to make a difference. We're going hard in 2024. And so, again, we just want to say thank you. Thank you, baby doll. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. We're going to continue to push this. And also, as a therapist, Candace, we're planning on bringing you back even more. So, I mean, the plan is to bring you back again to talk therapy, because I think, in the mindset, like with Adrian's talking about, sometimes we fail to even understand or acknowledge that we are mentally stressed. We are going through some physical things, emotional. We fail to realize that. And so as a therapist, to come in and kind of just as we go through, to acknowledge that. So we as dialysis patients, kidney transplant patients, kidney disease patients, that we can come to a place to understand that we don't have to remain there, but we can come to a place and live our lives big. And so I want to say thank you again for being on the show. Appreciate it. All right, everyone, be blessed. Again, check us out on the YouTube, Dialysis is Not Your Life YouTube. Check us out, dialysisyourlife.com. Any questions or anything, you can contact me with those as well if you need to speak or anything, any questions that you may have, whether not even after the show, once you see this. So again, I appreciate it, and we'll talk to everyone later on next time. All right, bye-bye.